Just like many other people, I have had challenges with my own care and getting the right care. There's really a crisis in the United States around health equality, and that's something that I'm very passionate about changing.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of On Purpose, where I interview intriguing leaders about their purpose. Today, I am joined by Vanessa Broadhurst, who heads Global Corporate Affairs for Johnson & Johnson and is also a board member of us at Zoetis. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thanks, Kristin. I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Talk to me a little bit about what attracted you to healthcare.
How did I end up in healthcare?
Yes.
Well, interestingly enough, when I was studying in undergraduate school, I wanted to be a doctor. And I changed my mind, decided I wouldn't go to med school, and ultimately found my way to business school and wanted to get back into healthcare. I ended up in healthcare marketing.
But it's become a passion and a mission for you in many respects. Talk to me a little bit about why healthcare is so important to you personally.
The reason why I like healthcare so much as a profession is also, I think that healthcare marketing blends the psychology of business, which is marketing, with essentially the biology that human health has to offer. And by the way, animal health.
Yes. You've been advocating for patients' rights for a long time and for equity in healthcare, which in this country is just a huge issue. Talk to me about some of the roots of some of those challenges.
It's so important, and I have told my own stories about inequities I've experienced in healthcare, because when I go into a physician's office, I am a Black woman. I am not on the board of Zoetis. I am not an executive at Johnson & Johnson. I show up in my own skin, and people don't know who I am. And just like many other people, I have had challenges with my own care and getting the right care. There's really a crisis in the United States around health equality, and that's something that I'm very passionate about changing.
You've led so many commercial businesses, whether that be cardiovascular, infectious disease, for multiple companies, and corporate affairs for you is actually only something you've done in the last few years. How have you found a way to blend those two and create successful businesses?
I think that what you need to do to run a very successful business is to build a successful leadership team and successful teams of people. And to do that, my initial passion was, DE&I and making sure that we had diverse and inclusive teams, that we were really bringing out the best in people and really bringing talent to the table and developing that talent. So in terms of leading businesses, that was one thing that I continue to do. When it comes to health equity, that's a big problem to solve. So you need the best teams in terms of solving these big problems. So I am luckily working for a company in a position where I get to do both of those things. I get to think about the business, I get to think about health equity, and I get to build the best leadership teams to be able to achieve that.
I know another topic that you and I are both passionate about is adoption.
Yeah.
And I think, talk to me a little bit about what made you want to speak out about being adopted and really advocating for adoption.
I was adopted in the 1960s. I was one of the early transracially adopted children, and my experience has been incredible. I mean, my parents are wonderful. I have an adopted brother. I have an adopted cousin. We come from a very multicultural family. And I think it's really important because families are made in so many different ways, and all of those ways are good ways. And it's just such an incredible experience for you to take a child into your home and to really, help them grow. So I want to help people understand my experience as an adoptee, because sometimes parents are scared of what their kids might think, right. But also to just, tell my own story, which has been a very positive one.
I do think colleagues want to know that their stories, they can see their stories in their leaders. And I think a lot of this has been your willingness to share yours. And one of the most impactful was the letter you shared for International Women's Day.
Sure.
The letter you wrote to your daughters. And I wonder, for those who haven't read it, if you might share a little bit about some of the advice that you gave.
I have always told them, work hard, treat people like you want to be treated, make sure that you advocate for yourself and advocate where you think things need to change, and make sure that you're also kind when you're doing it. So you can be fierce, but you also need to be kind.
I think you've set just a phenomenal example, certainly for your girls, but also for men and women around the globe, to how to combine your personal passion with the purpose of a company and deliver just incredible impact. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for sharing your story today.
Oh, thanks, Kristin. It's so good to be here.
And thank you for joining us for On Purpose. We look forward to seeing you again next time.